Hi guys, my name's Lisa Howell and I'm the owner of Perfect Form Physiotherapy and the Ballet Blog. And this is the third in a series of videos designed to teach you how to get the best possible rehabilitation if you have a dance injury. Now this is the third in the series, so if you haven't seen the other two, I highly recommend that you watch these first. The first one is how to treat a dance injury and the second is on how to get a correct diagnosis. But today we're going to talk a little bit about what to do if you don't have access to an amazing dance physio who can guide you through the full rehabilitation process. Now, while it does help if your therapist knows a little or a lot about dance and the structure of a dance class, and also understands the psychological pressures that go along with having a dance injury, this is wonderful. However, just because they're not a dancer or aren't used to treating dancers, please don't write them off. There are some amazing therapists in the world who have never done a dance class in their life, and they can be still very, very good at helping you recover from your injury. Now, obviously, if you do have access to a great dance physio, this is wonderful because they can not only help you recover from that injury, but they can also help prevent it from reoccurring by looking at any technique factors or other contributing factors that may have led to that injury developing in the first place, especially if it's a chronic injury. Also, they may be able to look at other areas of your technique and actually improve the strength, mobility, coordination and balance that are required for other areas of class so that you can work on these while you're not dancing. My aim when I'm treating any dancer is to actually get them back to class stronger than they were before the injury. So this is something that you want to work with your therapist on so that you return to class better than ever. Often when a dancer gets injured, a huge amount of fear comes up and there are a lot of questions flooding through your mind, such as, will I actually ever dance again? Will this ever get better? Will I fall behind the rest of my class? Will I get thrown out of a troupe performance or a company? And this can be very, very challenging. Now, when you sit down and actually map out your rehab program with your therapist, this can often help actually alleviate some of these fears because you can realize how important this process is to developing you as a dancer, and it can actually be one of the most powerful things that can happen to you in your career. Now, if you don't have access to a great dance physio in your area, you can contact us for a Skype consultation, either just with yourself or in conjunction with your treating therapist, or you can use the following tips to help your therapist treat you as efficiently as possible. Now, number one is to show them what you need to be able to do. And most therapists have an amazing ability to analyze movement and to be able to break it down and see what strength, mobility, flexibility you need to actually be able to do that movement properly. So one of the most important things is to take in photos of you dancing or videos, if possible, of you performing before you actually got that injury so that they can see what level you're at and what you do need to get back to. The second thing that you need to do is actually help them redefine normal. Now, what's normal for a regular person is usually quite different to what normal is for a dancer, as you spent your whole life training and really pushing yourself to push the boundaries of what is humanly possible. So a therapist might be really happy with getting a torn hamstring back to 120 degrees when you know that you actually need to get it back to at least 160 for a certain performance. So please make sure that you show them what you could do before the injury or compare it to the other side so that they know what is normal for you. Number three is to use our injury reports. Now, we are slowly compiling a series of injury reports that help outline the causes, contributing factors, treatment protocols and rehab processes for a lot of the injuries that we get questions about. Now, what you can do is print out these injury reports, take them along to your therapist so that they can get a little bit of an idea of what is an appropriate treatment protocol for a dancer as opposed to the people that they're normally used to taking through these injuries. If you have the Advanced Foot Control for Dancers program, most of these reports will be in the members area on the new Ballet Blog. However, for knee, hip and back injuries, and if you don't have that program, you can purchase these individually from the Ballet Blog store. Number four is to use a floor bar. Now, hopefully your dance teacher will have some experience of using a floor bar to help you maintain condition if you have to be off your feet for a certain period of time. This is especially important if you've had foot and ankle surgery, if you've got a stress fracture, or if you've had major ligament damage to your feet or even your knees. However, it is essential that you modify the floor bar based on your particular injury. So if you've had an osteogonum, the small bone at the back of the ankle, removed, you won't be able to actually point the foot for a period of time, and you must talk to your therapist about how long this should be. Also, if you've had a hip injury, you may not be able to do the floor bar lying on your back, as this can overload the front of the hips. So you may need to do floor bar actually lying on your stomach, which really helps work your deep turnout muscles. Number 5 is to correct all of the contributing factors. Now, the injury reports that we've created have a lot of detail on the causes and contributing factors of a lot of these common injuries. And this should be enough information to help your therapist establish what things helped cause your injury in the first place. If they can correct these during the rehab process, this means you'll be much safer when you return to class. For instance, if one of the contributing factors was rolling due to a lack of turnout, if you correct this before returning to class, you'll be much less at risk of re-injuring that area and having to have more time off in the future. And number 6 is to break down each exercise. This is a very important part. So if you are unable to stand, say you've got a stress fracture or some other reason why you can't be weight bearing through the foot, it is very important to continue to train all of the muscles that would be used in exercises that you would do in standing, even if they're unrelated to what's going on in your foot. So for instance, for your adage, which you'd normally do in standing, you need to really keep training all of the muscles involved around the hip and in the deep back to make sure that you maintain and even improve the endurance and strength in these muscles while you're off letting the foot heal. Now, the goal of both Perfect Form Physiotherapy and the Ballet Blog is to empower dancers to help prevent injury in the first place. However, unfortunately, injury still does occur, and by far the most questions that we get through the Ballet Blog are from dancers wanting to know how to rehabilitate specific injuries. This is why we've actually created a very unique new DVD set, which actually outlines the complete rehab process for a dancer with a foot injury. Now, this goes from completely non-weight bearing, if you've had a stress fracture or severe ligament damage to your foot, through to options of working through class in a boot, and then on to progressing back into class in a safe and sensible way. Now, we do this to really help allay the fear of dancers who are worried that they'll get left behind or they'll fall behind their classmates by actually teaching you how to improve your technique during this rehab process. The whole program is revolved around a normal structure of a ballet class so that you can actually still participate in class while you're going through your rehab program. Then each exercise is broken down into specific training exercises to help improve your strength, flexibility, mobility, proprioception, coordination, so that you can actually really develop your technique and return to class better than ever. Now, this program can be used by any dancer who's had at least 5 years of formal ballet training under the guidance of a treating therapist. Please do not use this program to rehabilitate an injury on your own. That's not what it's designed for. Now, I am really excited to share this with you. It has been such an amazing process in developing the program and going through the filming. It is beautifully shot, it is beautifully developed. I'm really, really proud of this. And every day I see evidence of just how much it is needed in the dance world. The questions that we get constantly reaffirm the need for this to be created. So I'm super excited to share it with you. To get you started, I've actually created a free PDF with the top 10 essential elements of the Ultimate Rehab Program for dancers. Now, this has a huge amount of information on everything from choosing a therapist through to ensuring you have ultimate nutrition through the rehab process, through to some advice on not returning to class too quickly. So I really love you to get started on that. Click on the link, go through, download that PDF. This will get you started, and then I'm really excited to share the full program with you.